Hello. Today we're going to be taking a look at the claw grip, specifically on an Xbox controller and Junkrat for the character. I'll be going over ways you can train the claw grip on your own and how I have gone about it. The first thing you should know about the claw grip is it takes time to not only train your brain to get used to it, also your fingers, the muscles in your fingers will literally need to be conditioned as like a strength trainer would do in the gym. When you're beginning to use the claw grip for perhaps the first year, your index finger and your middle finger will feel strained, and if and the best advice I can give to anyone trying out the claw grip is that it will become easier, and your fingers will literally, like a guitarist or something, will literally acclimate. Here what I'm doing is playing with my hands actually around a tripod for the camera, and I'm sitting way too close to the TV. However, I do all right in this video. I end up making play of the game at the end. As you can see, the second thing I want to point out is that the index finger on the right, obviously that's the claw part. The first thing I noticed when I saw this video was that the index finger on my right hand, the second knuckle down is practically a 90-degree angle the entire game. That is not intended, however, it evolved that way personally for me. The trigger is on the middle finger. Which has its own kind of irony. I do play piano, and I believe that I hit the piano keys in a similar way with the first knuckle of that index finger, the way it oscillates or jostles, whatever word it is, I'm not sure, but all of this controller lingo is new. So we just kind of make it up as we go along a lot of the times. It's me. No. There I am showing you the back of the claw hand when you can't see it behind the controller. I do play southpaw, so that means the two sticks are set as left-handed. However, I'm ambidextrous, and that all originated during GoldenEye 007 back in the 90s or whatever, on the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64 controller was so innovative and yet bizarro is an appropriate word too. That it literally evolved out of and into what we see today. X is reload, A is jump. You see me spam with the finger every once in a while. It's just part of the nature of the game. Max sensitivity, look, speed, and that's kind of why there's a lot of movement on my left thumb. More than I'd noticed. That's me punching in the air a little bit. You'll see me use the middle finger for the punch too, which is above the trigger on the right hand. That's the 360 spin, which takes getting used to. However, it does use. Some people would know it as muscle memory. Others would know it as classical and operant conditioning. It's all about training. And it's not only just the mind, it's also the fingers, like the literal muscles. I know I've said that it needs to be emphasized that if you're going for the claw grip, that you have to stick with it. I also play inverted look, and that was a decision I made long ago also. It was a decision that I hadn't had finalized, and then eventually during Halo, I was over at a friend's house. I had to decide. I had to figure out and decide what it was, and inverted look came naturally also because of my experience piloting. It works well for me in this game, and if I tried to switch any of this off of it, I would play less well. There are strengths and weaknesses innate to the style of claw grip. There's also a claw grip in golf. This is the video game version of that. Goes without saying, to the uninitiated, that you have to go all in on this or not. And just like a left-handed pitcher or whatever, you can have some serious strengths among those challenges, because it is challenging. Perhaps the most challenging. It looks impressive too. Here I go with a double claw just for the camera. You can barely see through the select screen here, but I'm holding my left thumb, and I'm just licking. It almost looks like I'm licking the stick with my finger, or like a gooseneck rolling its eggs around in a nest. I use that double claw just for showing off on streams when I'm on fire. When you have a streak in this game, you blaze up with fire, and that little double claw is just it's total flair. It's just for show. Although you can come up with a use for anything, I suppose. That's freeing your mind and keeping an open mind is all about this type of gameplay. That right there, I'm just punching in the air just out of sheer joy. Here we go with the select. You see, I'm not using the stick in a normal way on the left side. It's like a reactionary. It's like tapping. There's two types of motion on the sticks, which is flowing motion and broken motion, whatever word you use. Using it a little bit there to try and dodge. There I go, showing off the claw again, if you're wondering. At that type of claw feels like a violin, the way a violinist would hold an instrument that they've been playing for over 18 years. So this claw grip evolved through multiple games. And with max sensitivity up to 100%, it can be extremely powerful and more advantage than a keyboard and mouse at certain ranges and in certain chaotic angles, and the word is placement in PvP. Here I go. There's a triple button hit right there with the claw when I jump up into the air with the remote mine and punch and shoot balls up into the air. Thumbs up here when I hit play of the game. I knew this was the video we were going to use. Thank you for watching. Just giving my hands a little bit of a rest there. I can play for 8 hours. I could play for what is it, the one time we did 12 hours of this claw grip, and if you do 12 hours, you literally need to get in shape with your right hand if you want to do 12 hours or 8 hours or 1 hour. If I take a break for a few weeks from the claw grip on the Xbox controller, I need to, like, when I get back into it, I have to train that first day until your fingers become a bit fatigued, maybe a lot fatigued, and then stop playing that day. And turn your hand over the way the other way from how you were playing and rest it. And sleep well that night. Wake up in the morning. Probably don't play. Give yourself a rest day. And then that second day, play as long as you want until you're fatigued. It could be an hour. It could be 15 minutes, depending on how new you are at it. Here's a little backpedaling over on that lever there. I work on a few punches here just to show off how you can send off a punch with the claw grip just as fast as any setup anywhere. That was a little bit of an improv remote mine. If you're young and you're a gamer and you want to try this claw grip, go for it. That's my one recommendation for you, and keep at it. If you don't like it, play however you want to. It ultimately boils down to I arrived here personally because I decided this was the most comfortable way for me to play, and that always lets you ski in control, so to say. Even though I'm a snowboarder, always be different, people. It makes you unique, and that's I suppose what this video is dedicated to. We're gonna see some improvisation, a few misses. Let's get back to the controller a bit. It's all about hitting the buttons like I would type on a keyboard. I play Overwatch on the PC with the Xbox controller, and strong contender. It's all about letting your own subconsciousness assign the fingers to buttons or buttons to fingers, however you want to do it. My advice for you is to stick with it. If you play claw grip, stick with it. And as you can see here, I'm just spin aiming and long shot aiming and bounce vector aiming, and there's a punch. Great double shot there. The remote mine cleans up when you miss, and that was just a great double shot. 360s is my trademark style. I'm showing off my double jointed thumb on my left hand. Maybe I should have been left-handed. I'm right-handed, which makes me ambidextrous. Which, if you are, and that's a way to crack your knuckles. That's how I crack my knuckles single-handedly on each hand. Every once in a while, do that to get any cracks out in your knuckles while you're playing, and kind of reset the neurons in your fingers. This is just the best way to play Overwatch, in my opinion. It makes for just for a great show. Set up the timing. The aiming is all about timing when you're Junkrat, because the missile projectiles move so slow. It's all about mathematics, geometry, a little bit of calculus if you're doing parable bouncing. The Berkistochrone triangle or whatever. I can't remember the technical terms for it. But they're all there. Some real and some surreal. Thank you for watching. I'll do a little bow at the end. This is the claw grip for the Xbox controller. Bye.